Hello everyone, Zion here. In today's video I'll be doing, to no one's surprise, more Fakemon, yay, woo, and such. Today's batch of pocket monsters will be some regional variants and quote-unquote convergent variants. Or in other words, putting my own twist on a pre-existing Pokemon. So join me as I go through my journey of designing these new additions to my Fakemon region. Tynamo, at first glance, is a small little leech. As an electric type, I imagine it to latch onto electrical devices and bite onto them, sapping their power. However, its real-life inspiration, leeches are, less than pleasant. Now, I know I just did a blood-sucking invertebrate in my last video, please go watch it. But it's my video and I get to pick the creepy crawlies I turn into little guys. Anyways, Tynamo and the Casino region are based on an actual leech, being a bit thicker and meaner than its Unovan counterpart. Believe it or not, this was one of my first regional variants, so its first take was pretty much the same as it is now, it just needed a new look. Now, before I go over its dex like I usually do, I want to say Tynamo's evolution line is known for being the only ones with no weaknesses, thanks to the electric type only having one, and its ability nullifying it entirely. So, how did I go about it this time? Does my original variant of Tynamo maintain this lack of weaknesses, or is it just a thematic piece? Well, see for yourself with Casino Tynamo, the Elefish Pokemon, a poison dark type with Levitate. Casino and Tynamo have adapted to be more independent in comparison to their electric cousins, gathering in small numbers to swarm prey. Casino and Tynamo are very territorial, biting anything that enters their territory and injecting them with a potent venom. Once Tynamo evolves into Eelektrik, it undergoes a drastic shift in both size and appearance, and according to its Pokédex entries, attitude, becoming more aggressive. Now, personally, I quite like Eelektrik, although I'm not sure many people care much for it due to its cute pre-evolution and its powerful final stage. Eelektrik in the Casino region, like its pre-evolution, are a bit thicker and more sinister than their Unovan cousins. It has smaller fins and a much darker palette than thematic. Now, I believe that Eelektrik is based on a lamprey, another blood-sucking creature that is shockingly not related to a leech. Leeches are a type of worm, and lamprey are actually a type of fish that are, quite toothy. Anyways, with this original form of Eelektrik, I aim to lean a bit more into the lamprey thing. Its first design helped to define the thematic and the overall direction of the evolution line, so with its latest take I gave it a nice do-over and settled on Casino and Eelektrik, the Elefish Pokemon. Casino and Eelektrik are very dangerous. Their skin is laced with a powerful toxin that can paralyze an adult for 3 days. Casino and Eelektrik lurk in and near bodies of water, waiting to ambush and constrict unsuspecting prey. Eelektros, the powerhouse from Pokemon Black and White, infamous for its bulk and lack of weaknesses. How would one build upon this absolute unit and make something new? Well, do exactly that. Make a different evolution for this line. At first though, I did not have that thought in mind. A bulkier, spikier Eelektros for my first take on this one was apparently enough at the time. So, when I decided to make a new evolution, I opted to, again, lean into the lamprey inspiration a bit more. But that wouldn't seem very interesting to just make a lamprey. You need something that ties it a little to its typing a bit more. So, seeing the mohawk-like look on my regional Eelektrik as well as the sharp diamond-esque designs on its body, I was inspired by glam rock and the wild outfits and hair and lights. So I gave it a mohawk and checkered coat collars to embrace that vibrant rockin' vibe. This first take was nice, but it felt a bit awkward and lacked the right dimensions that I wanted. So in its latest take I aimed to give it better proportions and an appearance that was a bit more aligned with its inspiration. And yes, I ditched the coat collar look because I do have plans for a certain form in the near future. Lampreyoss, the Venefish Pokemon. Lampreyoss' skin is thick and gooey, making them practically immune to all forms of harm as they thrash with their foes. They hunt by latching onto their prey, injecting them with paralytic venom so that it can drag them into the watery depths with ease. Before I carry on with the rest of these designs, feel free to like the video and subscribe. It helps my videos reach more people, and I'd love to hear from more of you. Anywho, enjoy the rest of the video. In the most recent Pokemon region, Paldea, we were blessed with the Tink line. Some flawless designs that fans have adored since they were discovered. They embody the small girl big hammer and caveman, or rather cavewoman, trope as well. So my first thought going into the design process of my regional variants was, what if Tinkaton but boy? The first of these ones is Huntink, a little caveman dude with a spear. I just love making little guys. Anyways, Huntink, like the Tink line, uses the bones of its quarry, which conversely aren't steel types. These little guys are inspired by the trope of the tribal hunter, hurling spears at intruders and such. Huntink's design has remained pretty much the same, although in its latest take I opted to take off whatever that bone plate on its nose was supposed to be and made its hat a little bigger. Huntink, the pointsmith Pokemon. Huntink make their spears from the bones of their prey, the toughest bones being used by the strongest among them. Huntink form large groups. The larger the group, the larger the prey they hunt down, skewering them with many spears. Next up is Huntuff. Here, like on Huntuff, we can see the start of some armor and the shape of its weapon in its final evolution. Anyways, Huntuff's design follows similar inspirations to Huntink, a tribal motif that wields a slightly less disposable weapon this time. Looking at it now though, next to its final evolution, makes me wonder if I should make its weapon be more of an in-between phase from its other evolutions than what it is now. Let me know what you think. Originally though, I wanted to just give this evolution line bigger and bigger spearheads made from the teeth of larger Pokemon, but I opted to go for an axe instead to give it a slightly more obvious growth in its craftsmanship. Like Huntink, Huntuff's most recent take rid of the bone thing on its nose, if it had one anyway. And I also added some more perspective to its axe to add more context to the design. Huntuff, the axe Pokemon. Huntuff aren't as social as Huntink, forming small hunting groups to take down their favorite prey, Buffalon. Huntuff never turn from a fight, battling until they either fall or stand victorious over their opponent. Lastly, we have Hunton. I may have cooked a little too hard on this one. Anyways, Hunton, like Tinkaton, embodies the small fighter big weapon trope, and executes it so well, the head of the axe being almost as big as its body. For my first take, figuring out what kind of axe I wanted it to wield was, to say the least, difficult. I originally wanted a halberd, and decided on a double-sided axe before settling on just a giant chopping axe with some spikes. But thankfully I chose correctly, and the silhouette is just as imposing as Tinkaton's. So with its latest take I stuck with the same silhouette, adjusting the proportions and pose, while sprucing up its axe and getting rid of that stupid noseplate. Hunton, the axe Pokemon. Hunton have taken on a solitary lifestyle, fighting stronger foes seemingly for sport. They can easily cleave a tree in one swipe of their axe. This ease extends even to combat, as they cut down their foes with powerful swipes. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed these variants of some already peak Pokemon designs. Let me know what you think in the comments. What's your favorite of this batch? Or is there any input you have about the designs? Anything you'd do differently? Okay, that's enough out of me. See you next time!